Let's do it. I'm Black Hannibal, running through your capital on elephants. Civilize a savage with my elegance. Militant intelligence, run through your defense. Strike like a ninja, slice, cut, and injure. Leave no prisoners, just bodies on the battlefield. I'm Spartacus with a sword and shield. Something like a marksman with cold blue steel. War paint on my face, keep my identity concealed. Advance on your camp like dozens of killer ants. Snatch your king like chess, checkmate is his death. While my team have fun with your queen. Throw your bishops off the roof, your knights flee the scene. I plant bombs in the home of your pawns. The detonation shook the foundation of your rooks. Holding shotguns with double barrels. They impact so hard when it blasts through your body travels. Yeah. Street Spartacus. Black Spartacus. Black Spartacus. Black Spartacus. Black Spartacus. Black Spartacus. Burn your flag as I overthrow your government. New politics, no Democrats and Republicans. Spiritual systems built by wise men who's true in living. The foundation's no longer Christian. Teaching universally the wisdom of the nations. New currency, no more dollar bills with white faces. No more Caucasian domination. All races participating, cultivating education. The people hungry and they ain't waiting. No more debating. Let's overthrow the haven to Satan. This old world needs some new changes. Rulers with new faces. It's time to take out the racists. Spartacus from the new ages. From the page to the stage, pull a blade on the money changers. Spartacus from the new ages. From this page to the stage, pull a blade on the money changers. Peace, power, and prosperity. Rob Blackstorm, long time no see. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Had some life things to work out, so sorry y'all haven't seen me in a couple of weeks, but I am back. Things have kind of cleared up as far as family's concerned, and I am back. Don't want to waste any time with my special guest, Firstborn Art. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the show.
Appreciate you for having me, man.
Yes, sir. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm grateful. I'm grateful.
Yes, sir. Pleasure to have you. So I know you are an artist and an occultist. I've been following you for a while on Facebook. I think you're a very interesting young man, very perceptive, very wise. So I want to bring you on the channel to have this discussion and to talk a little bit about, the things that I've seen you get into. I've seen your interview with Biggs. You guys were talking about occultism and things like that. Interesting subjects, interesting topics, of course, things that I am into and people that like to watch my channel like to listen to as well. So I appreciate you coming on. Tell the people who you are.
Yeah, man. I'm Damon Chambliss, better known as Firstborn Art. Born and raised in Detroit, Michigan, currently located in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. I make music. I'm a rapper. I'm a producer. I'm a fine artist. I paint, edit videos, all around creative polymath. Been selling my artwork since the age of 13. So that's what my content is about, mainly also.
Dope. When did you start? I guess we should start with music. When did you start getting into music, and what are your influences?
Yeah, I got into music. I was about 12 years old. It really just started with my cousin rapping, and I didn't want to rap from that, but it inspired me to start making beats. So from that, I started making ambient music, bro. Like I was I was 14 years old making ambient music. Like,
wow, like Andre 3 Stacks, like
yeah,
flutes and stuff like that.
real, bro. For real.
That's what's up.
So it started from that. Then when I was 16, I started freestyling. My generation, we call it based freestyling. Shout out to Lil B. Then when I was 19, I started actually writing and being introspective with my music. But, so now I'm here with it.
The bass guy, Lil B. Yeah.
Shout out to Lil B.
Yeah.
He liked a few of my pictures too. And
That's
like he
what's up.
listened to a couple of my songs. He DM'd me a few times and shit. Wanted me to buy a feature from him and shit.
That sounds like his character. That's what's up. Yeah. I haven't seen Little B in a minute, man. Does he still rap?
Yeah, man, Lil B still out here. He's
Okay.
still out here, like still dropping videos.
Wow. Yeah. Lil B. I remember when Lil B was popping. He was a legend. Yeah. At his time, man. He influenced a lot of rappers. A lot of people
Yeah,
don't know, but Lil B influenced a lot of rappers, a lot of
yeah.
new rappers that are big. And they don't really give him his props, but yeah, he was definitely a huge influence. What's your age?
I'll be 27 next Friday, bro.
Oh yeah, you're the young guy. Salute to you. Salute to you. So
322, Ace of Diamonds. Shout out to all my Ace of Diamonds out there. Shout out to all
okay,
my Virgo North nodes, all my Virgo risings, all my Virgo moons, all my Pisces and Aries cusp, like all them. But yeah,
word. Shout out to them. You know, shout out to all of y'all on the astrological wheel. You know, it's y'all time to shine though right now. The about to go from Pisces to Aries. You know, but actually, I have two queens that come on here with me that do astrology, and they're both Virgos. You know, and they're
hmm
like some of my best friends in the world. So definitely shout out to y'all. My Venus is in Virgo, so very close to my heart. You know, y'all Virgos. You know, but explain to me. So let's talk about this. Um, as far as magic and mysticism, what is your outlook? How do like your age with all all the things on the internet? You know, because I'm a man of a certain age now. You know, I came in under the 5% nation. I don't even know. Do you know even who the 5% nation
Oh
is?
yeah.
There's 13
People
that
think I'm a 5%er because firstborn is like a 5%er kind of name. So people
definitely.
be thinking I'm a 5%er because my name firstborn, but I know
Yeah.
about that and I resonate with a little bit of it.
Okay. Yeah. So I started with that. Then got into metaphysics. Then from metaphysics, kind of led me into occultism, and now I kind of blend all three.
hmm
Um, So my perspective is very diverse. I'll even tap into the Bible, tap into the Quran, whatever it is. I'm more of an omniist, now when it comes to my
Yeah, I feel you.
spirituality. I use all indigenous things, the Bhagavad Gita, whatever it takes, tapping into the deities, whatever it takes. Talk to me about your spiritual practice, and how that works for you as a young man, studying things, and what was your introduction to it? How do you get into it? Talk to us about your journey.
Yeah, so mine kind of overlap with yours, the omnius, because at the end of the day, all of it traces back to us, and all of it is inside of us. What I mean by that is, I'm heavy on the spirits that are in your court. So the spirits that are in my court are from different cultures. So that's where people might consider it omnius. So, but I'm with everything really to get some results. The ancestral veneration, people might that might spill over into hoodoo. You know, me working with Hecate, the dark goddess, that might spill into draconian magic. More left hand, darker stuff. So that's my thing. Of course, it started out with I'm seeing angel numbers left and right. I got put out my mom's house in like 2017,
Yeah,
and
tell us about like the evolution, like how did it
yeah,
all,
yeah, bro.
begin, like step by step,
Yeah,
so we can get
bro.
to know you a little bit.
Yeah, I started seeing a bunch of angel numbers around a big shift in my life in 2017. I had got put out my mom's house. I kept seeing angel numbers. Before that, what really started my studying journey, it was The Alchemist, the book The Alchemist.
Mm,
Then it was Dr. York.
Dr. York,
Like,
yeah. Shout
you
out
know what
Dr.
I'm
York
saying?
and the Planet Risk. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is with his case, but I got to give credit to what started my journey. But I came across a Dr. York book called "Are There Black Devils?"
hmm
that explained to me why Christianity isn't like literal, because I always never been like into the Bible and like a Christian. I've never been that. Like I remember I got in a big fight with my dad when I was like 12 years old because he asked me like about the Bible. So I never was into it like that. I never was religious. But that Dr. York book allowed me to explain like, okay, this is why Christianity isn't real. And
Hmm.
I was 18. I was I was a senior in high school. I remember I was bringing that shit to school. So like that was really like the tip of the iceberg for my spiritual journey. Real, it was real physical. You know, it was real physical. I started being vegan and vegetarian. You know, like you start out with Dr. Sabi. You know, you got these phases of spirituality. So you know, I'm being vegan, vegetarian. Started with the Dr. York book. I got into herbs, which still that shit still stick with me to this day.
Okay. What you got? What you drinking on?
That's Devil's Claw.
Okay.
So I'm heavy into naturopathy. So
Hmm.
that started on the tip of my spiritual
What's that good?
path.
What's that good for? The devil's claw? Because that
It's
sounds like
good for
something like you could body somebody with that.
it's good for like inflammation. It's very like antiviral. Hella shit, bro. Like man, these herbs be having multiple properties and multiple benefits,
Yeah.
and they good for like hoodoo work too.
Hmm.
That's another thing. But
Yeah. You can't really do I always say you can't really do mysticism or magic effectively without herbs being involved. That's like the base nature, any type of nature, even when it comes down to what people would say is a taboo, like animal sacrifice, right?
mhm.
But people go to Popeye's chicken every day. People
Yeah,
go eat beef from the cow every day. With
yeah,
somebody had to kill the cow, somebody had to kill the chicken, right? But when it comes to something spiritual, people will say it's evil.
yeah,
It's the same thing. Plant life, right? It's called plant life because plants do have a life essence. So using herbs is part of the spiritual walk as well. And I think a lot of people, will just get a candle, and a picture of a deity,
hmm
and they may say a mantra or something, and they think that that is enough without adding all the other elements, such as herbs, maybe aromatherapy or some sort of incense,
yeah,
to add to the practice to make it more potent, but also to attach it more to nature, which is what we are at, you know, at a base level. We're nature. We come
yeah,
from nature, and we will return in this physical avatar back to nature. So, really, to respect the nature is very important.
yeah. Facts.
So yeah, that's interesting. I never heard of Devil's Claw. I gotta look into that though, because
Yeah,
that
man.
sounds like something very powerful. What do you think about people who are what got you into the left hand path of magic? Because that's mainly a big thing I want to talk to you about. Because
Yeah,
I heard your conversation with Biggs, and a lot of people will be like, the left hand path of magic is like so quote unquote evil, dark,
yeah,
right? What do they say?
yeah.
Black magic.
People be spiritual, but still like throwing the left hand path to the side. So basically, continuing like my spiritual path. So 2018, no, 2017. You know, started with the Dr. York. The base level shit. I'm trying to wake everybody up. That shit. Grow out of that. I'm still just studying. I come across I come across Brother Beniti of Primordial Chaos and Ravana Noon. Shout out to them. I'm studying them. My friend Brand Visions, he the one who kind of introduced the idea of the Goetia to me.
Hmm.
So this, I would call this the like, what's that term? Armchair occultist. I would consider that like I was going through that because I ain't really had no space to work nothing, but I do a little candle stuff here and there. So
What would you consider an armchair occultist? That's an interesting
um,
term.
yeah, armchair culture is just really what a lot of spiritual people are, but it's just the person who just reads about spirituality and they don't really practice nothing. They just
Mm, yeah.
It's just a lot of ego stuff.
Right.
Nothing applied. You know, they just know stuff. They don't really practice nothing.
Hmm. Scholars for no reason.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. To impress their friends at the water cooler, you know,
yeah. So
on
that's
the
what
block.
got me into that. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
got me into the left hand path. As far as actually doing something with it, I would say it was starting with a kate last year around October. That's my actual like doing something left hand path type
Hmm.
work. But I've been studying it and knowing about it before. Like I said, from Ravana Noon, Brother Panic, Brother Beniti, and my friend Brand Visions, just dropping that jewel on me. We would just watch a bunch of Luciferian videos and a bunch of Ravana Noon videos for hours, just opening our mind up. And I never rejected it. I never rejected it. I never looked at them like, bro, what the fuck you got me doing? Looking at videos on demons.
Hmm.
I never rejected it. I'm like, damn, okay, because I understand archetypal energy.
What would you say is the difference
I
between
didn't
the
hear that
left hand
question.
path and the right hand path? To those who don't know or don't understand, what would you say that is?
I'm sorry, repeat that.
No, I'm sorry. I think I cut you off. I thought you stopped. So my apologies. What would you say is the difference between the left hand path and the right hand path as far as
Yeah,
comes to magic and occultism?
yeah. So like, me and Biggs, we talked about this in our last video too. But it's just, for instance, like it could be like the left hand path work is like, all right, you working with King Payman, Paimon, however you want to pronounce it, to help you with your music, and that's left hand. So right hand would be you working with Saint Expedite to get you some free rent, you know. Or right hand could just be like lighting a white candle, lighting a white candle and putting some bay leaves on it and some money oil on it, you know. That's right hand. Or left hand could be you hexing somebody because they fucked you over, or even putting them in a jar, whatever, putting some cayenne pepper in a jar, whatever people be doing, you know.
So I always was under the understanding when it comes to left hand, like it was more so working with like you said, like King Payment or goetic deities or working with deities, and the right hand was more like I want to say like mental magic, like more of the like think it, feel it, create it, that type of thing. And the left hand was more like working with tools. Am I off or am I on? Because one would say that they're based on your explanation that they're both kind of the same thing.
They
Because
two
you're working with expedite, when you're working with King Payment, you kind of still have to use tools to activate those entities or
Yeah.
activate that archetypal energy.
So I would say they two sides of the same coin. Left hand more so like the root. It's the root. Like it's quantum manipulation. The right hand might be that grease not real hot. Like that grease not real hot. It's like it's surface level. Some people, not to be like disrespectful, but some people could say like it's surface level. But like the left hand would be you get into the root of stuff. It's an internal thing. It's like the nitty gritty. But the right hand is more so, you just trying to get some free rent, or you're not really changing nothing in your mind. It's a lot of different ways to look at left hand and right hand work. From the spirits to what kind of work goes into each box to each category. It's a few different ways you can look at it,
Got
because
you.
it kind of just goes into the high magic and low magic stuff too.
What would you say is the difference between high and low magic?
I'll say high magic is just like you trying to, all right, instead of doing like some money ritual, you would do some work in to help you focus better, you know, and like some low is money magic, you know, but at the same time you trying to do this money magic, but you got a fucking Amazon shopping addiction. It's like, all right, you need to do this high stuff first. You need to deal with the internal. You need to deal with the root, the nitty gritty first, because you trying to do this surface level stuff, and it's not really, ain't nothing really coming through. You're not really getting no results. And if you is, it might be some crumbs.
So basically, it would be like low magic would be like earthly magic, like you said, trying to manifest rent, trying to manifest money, period blood to get a boo, sperm to
Mm-hmm.
get a woman, um, you know, things for physical means, and high magic would be things that would be more like shadow
Yeah.
work, tapping into archetypal energy, working with indigenous spirits, things like that, things in nature, so forth and so on. Okay,
Yeah,
I,
even
I could
just
get.
your mental in general, like your infernal, the your internal world. You know, you doing something for that. It can
Okay,
just be something simple as having a conjure oil that help you focus. You know, I got a conjure oil by Emmy Rain from magicalmystic.com, and she got one that's
that's the homie. Yeah.
in focus, and it's like it's for focusing. You know, so that could be considered high magic.
Now, what would be the difference, right? Because one would say that one would say that, let's use the oil for example, right? And shout out
Mm.
to M Rain, she was on the channel too before last year. Um, let's say one would say that, well, it's not really the oil, it's your mind. What would be the difference?
Yeah,
What
so
would you say is the difference?
it's all
Or even
together.
a candle, or even a candle. People will say, okay, I light a candle or I worked with this spirit, but it's not really you working with the spirit. It's that you had this intention. And because you had this intention, right? Because this is how an atheist would look at it, right? You
Uh,
had this intention, and because you thought of it long enough, it manifested, but you're attributing it to an oil or a deity. What would you say to someone who thought like that?
yeah, it's all working together. Yo, intent. We talked about this in the video too, but your intention, your heart, and the ritual, whatever tool you're using, it's all aligning. It's all aligning. It's all in the center, which is gonna bring something in your physical, which is the result. Results matter. Results matter. None of this, um, none of this like talking shit matters, bro. Results matter when it comes to spirituality. Whether it's earthly results or it's infernal internal results. That's what matter. A change in yourself, a change in your environment, your surroundings, whatever. Like that's what matters. So these tools are going to help and are all a part of this puzzle. So whether that tool is an oil, a herb, a spirit, it's all together.
What do you think about? Because there's a lot of occultists out here, right? That there's a lot of people, not just occultists, but people that are initiated, right, in Ifa or Lukumi or Santeria, whatever tradition,
Mm-hmm.
and they ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they, yeah, they may have a little money, but mostly it's from doing spell work or ritual work. They may be getting by, whatever, and they and you know, and they just like grimy people overall. Like they people you wouldn't want to drink with and sit with. What do you think about those people?
Yeah, so we got to stop putting spiritual people on a pedestal. That's first thing. I did that when I first started dating a spiritual girl. Then I'm like, her ass doing the same shit, you know. So that's an explanation for that. We gotta stop putting spiritual people on a pedestal, man. That motherfucker with that drug rug and that bloodstone around her neck, still manipulative. She still got
Right.
a dirty ass bathroom.
Still
You
got
know.
rings around the top. Yeah.
Hmm.
Still ain't clean a cat litter
Yeah,
in weeks. Yeah.
it's like we just still human and we going through our cycles. Some people are spiritual, but they're not into like infernal change. They're more just into the sorcery. So
What is
that
infernal change? Because you said that a lot. What is
yeah,
your definition of that?
man,
Like if you was to explain it to a child, like somebody new to the path, what would you say is infernal change?
yeah, yo, it's like it's a change you can't put your hand on. It's inside of you. I look at a picture of myself from 2020. I'm not the same person. I done went through so much since then. My I would liken it into a progressive chart. I just say that it's your progressive chart. It's the way the upward trajectory of your chart goes. Is is how you grow internally. Like even though I may look the same, it's something different about my aura. That's what I consider infernal change, and it shows in your decisions. It will show in your decisions, your actions, the way you talk, your vibe from somebody that you knew a couple years ago. They're like, damn, you look the same, but it's something different about you. Yeah, I done went through changes internally. But yeah.
What's the other side of the coin to that infernal work? Because like you discussed earlier, there's two sides to everything. So what would you say is the other side of the coin to infernal work? Well, is there a label to that, or what would you call that?
The other side is just earthly stuff. Just like, your environment might have changed, but the best example is rappers. Your environment might have changed, but you still the same, bro. Look at
Yeah,
Young Thug. You the most influential rapper, but you still trying to get people killed. It's that. Not saying he ain't had no internal change, but just to make an example. That's the other side of it. You got people like Kid Cudi, big artists, still depressed. It's stuff like that. That's the other side of it. These rappers they got everything they could wish for in the world. They still got a pill addiction. You know, it's stuff like that.
yeah, yeah. What they say, you could take a nigga out the hood, but you can't take the hood out of a nigga, right?
Yeah,
The program still runs
yeah.
regardless of whatever external things you have.
No internal program.
Right, right. So basically, just to get a clarity, so the infernal work would be kind of like lighting a fire to your spirit, so to speak, where now you are basically, because when I think of infernal, I think of flame, I think of something that is infernal. So there's some sort of heat cooking, like
Yeah,
a kundalini energy. So
black
basically, that,
flame.
yeah, black flame.
Black flame.
Yeah,
Anybody who into Luciferianism, um, the darker aspects of spirituality, you know, self progression through the darker aspects of spirituality. Anybody who's into that will come across the term black flame. I can't really explain it too much, but that's basically what you just touched on. Like, yeah, it's a black flame.
Yeah, that makes sense because there's something in science called black body radiation, you know, and it's basically the black background of everything that is animated. So every animal, every planet, everything that has motion has black body radiation. And then there's cosmic background radiation, which is also darkness, right? Or
Mm.
dark matter. But this black body radiation would be like a fire, so to speak, or a shadow, right? So you can't really move and ascend without having and some sort of internal fire. And that internal fire has to be your willingness to connect with your higher self. And that higher self is now going to cause you to seek things that are going to want you to manipulate the world in your benefit. And you realize, because what happens is you come to a realization, at least I know I did, from selling dope and doing robberies and shit, and getting locked up and going through different things. You come to a realization that no matter what you have, the baddies, the money, whatever, everything that you acquire, that it's not enough. That's the same thing the rappers go through, that it doesn't satisfy you. you know, if you're insecure and you got $1 million, you're just an insecure nigga with $1 million. You know what I'm
You're a
saying?
secure millionaire.
Yeah. If you can't talk to girls and you got $10 million, you just a nigga who can't talk to girls and got $10 million.
You're gonna be an academics. You're gonna be a DJ academics.
Right? You're gonna be a lane with money, right? It doesn't matter. So whatever you acquire in the material world can never take care of the internal world. So the darkness is always going to come first. Darkness comes the light. So whatever you hide in the dark, it will always come to light, and that will always be the true you. You always have to look at the mirror or see a reflection of yourself before
Yeah.
you go to sleep or when you wake up. That mirror is always going to reflect back who you truly are. You could try to mask it with material things, but that's not true what you truly are. So
Mm-mm.
that black flame or that eternal flame, and dealing with Luciferianism. Like a lot of people think Lucifer is bad or evil or whatever, but Lucifer is like just the son of the morning, which is literally what it says in the Bible. It's just dealing with that type of energy that deals with a rising of energy, or like you said, internal black flame type of energy. So bringing that up into the highest of heights. So it's important that we understand, and that's where the imagination comes from. You know, everything comes from darkness, and it first starts with an image, a thought, an idea, a words, right? So tapping into that, and that takes you into, you start seeking different things, and people go down different paths, to manifest different things. And I think there's no real, you know, right or wrong path unless that path
Mhm.
goes against universal law and goes against the you know, someone's free will,
It's
you know.
individual.
But it's in
Spirituality is individual.
yeah, definitely. Talk to us. I know you're big on microdosing and magic mushrooms. Talk to us about the benefits of that, and sort of your journeys and what you would recommend as far as that goes.
Yeah, man. I got some hillbilly pumpkins right here.
Okay, you get up.
So yeah, my psychedelic journey started when I was like 16. I started there, shrooms. Later down the line, I did acid a couple times, but so it helps you stay on the upward trajectory. It helps you break out of this comfortable cognitive state that you in daily. That's why when we on shrooms, we want to clean up or some shit, and we just have these downloads, whatever people want to call them, downloads, gnosis, channelings, whatever we want to call them. We have those. So the shrooms, they get in your body. They know what to do. They know what to do, but you can't control them. you can control like your trip, set your intention. Like, all right, I'm trying to go here. I'm trying to I'm trying to go to this sphere of the astral. I'm trying to go over here. I'm trying to go to this realm. You can't do that. But starting out, I would like recommend like I relax and surrender. That's my mantra. Relax and surrender. I talk to the shrooms. I relax and surrender. Um, Show me what I'm supposed to see. Tell me what I'm supposed to know. You can say that to your crystals too. That's another thing. You can rub your crystal and tell it, like show me what I'm supposed to know. And I learned that from Brother Panic. Shout out to Brother Panic.
Rest in
Rest
power,
in
rest in
peace.
power. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. What else
definitely.
you say?
No, no, no. I'm just saying rest in power to Brother Panic. I was listening. Yeah, my shroom journey, I haven't taken shrooms this year yet, but my shroom journey has been definitely one that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I would recommend when people do it, first and foremost, there's a level of fear that you have to get rid of before you go down that journey. I don't think people that have high anxiety, people that are very fearful, people that are very scary should do this on
Mm-hmm.
their own until they're with someone that they trust, that they understand. Like I've been going this path for so long that when I first did it, I did it by myself. But I think people that are new to this path should do it with people that are shamans, people that they trust, people that they love, people that they know care about them, not really strangers, right? Things like that. Because what happens is you're going to go down a trip. And when you start tripping on shrooms, it'll take you places. And what happens is the shroom takes over, if you're really serious and you're not playing, it starts to take over, and you'll start seeing things that you might start seeing some primordial deities, and they look ugly and they look gruesome and they don't look like anything that you've seen in this three-dimensional world. And if you have seen it, you've only seen it in horror movies, right? You've
Yeah.
only seen it in some place that's supposedly forbidden, and you might get scared. But those may be the things. What I've discovered is those beings are the things that give you the wisdom, and they're kind of gatekeepers too for certain levels, right? Because just because you take shrooms doesn't mean that you've hit the max level of
Yeah.
shroomism. You know what I'm saying?
Depending on
There's
the
Yeah, there's different levels of astral traveling on shrooms as well. And there's certain gatekeepers that take you through certain levels, because everybody is not prepared mentally to deal with certain information, and
Mm-hmm.
even utilize certain information, and even understand certain information. So at some levels, yes, it may heal your childhood trauma. It may help you escape some nervousness or anxiety or depression, at the base level. But there's higher levels of perception where you could actually gain spiritual powers. You could actually develop a magical aura, what I like to call it, right? What you would call the black flame, right? Because the black flame is really just a magnification of your internal power, right? Which we all come from darkness. So we all come from blackness. What we are is really that black frame at the end of the day, that turns into a kaleidoscope of colors, sounds, and images. But when this physical avatar sheds, we are really nothing but that black flame, what they would call the spirit, which we can't see. Where spirit means breath, and we can't see air, so that will be considered darkness, right?
Mm-hmm.
So shrooms would take you to different levels and different heights and different levels of perception. I remember one time I was on shrooms and I was like, you know, like on a skyboat with different ancestors, and
Mm-hmm.
different singing songs and things, and bringing me to these different places. And you know it's really something that you really have to. So I encourage, like, it's really trendy now, but I would encourage people, if you are somebody who's nervous and not too sure, to do it with people that you trust and love, that's already done the journey, before you try to go it alone. Because
Yeah.
I'll sit here, pop some shrooms, and turn on some Alice Coltrane and Sun Ra, and I'm going in. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm super
Yeah. I,
astral
I do
traveling.
this shit alone. I do it. I do it alone.
Yeah.
You know, my way. of telling it to people, you gotta start with 5 grams. I recommend 5 grams. You gotta jump. You gotta jump in.
You taking him like Neo when Morpheus told him to jump. He wasn't ready. Yeah, because
You
that's the
gotta
jump.
jump in.
5 grams. That's a big jump. Yeah,
You gotta ring out your brain.
yeah.
You got you gotta
That'll
let some
do it.
shit go. Then the next day, all right, what I did, 5 grams. Next day, spiritually clean your house, clean up regularly too, and just whatever came to you on the trip, that's you just start on that. You continue to start on that.
Yeah,
If it
yeah,
came to you that you need to finish this project, you start on that. You just start from your new beginning, and your next trip should be 2 more grams. So 5 grams, then you do 7 grams 6 months later down the line. That's how I look at it.
yeah.
You got to
Cool.
stay focused on your upward trajectory and be
Yeah,
present in the moment and be casually vigorous, casually vigorous towards your upward trajectory. And the shrooms will help with that. But when it comes to starting what they told you to do, I don't recommend like just starting a bunch of new habits at the same time because you'll kind of end up back at square one. So it's like, all right, in the shroom trip, you like, damn, all right, I need to start meditating more. I need to start reading more. I need to start going to the gym more. Just start out with meditation first and just keep building on them other 6 habits that the shrooms and told you to start doing. That's how I go about it.
Phil said
And
you
it's
ever
all gonna
smoked
work.
shrooms. Nah, I never. I've never smoked shrooms. You ever smoked shrooms?
No, smoking shrooms is pointless. You ain't even supposed to heat them up too much.
Yeah, I
I
would think. I
I
would
didn't
think
put
that's
the
something for the
shrooms
body.
dust in a blunt before, but that was just on some. It was just some dust, and we just did that shit. But yes, the heat does something to the chemicals in it, and it like basically destroys it. That's why like you ain't even supposed to heat it up that much when you drink it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because if you think about where shrooms come from, the mycelium network, right, which provides the psilocybin, is underground, basically, right? It's attached to the trees and the earth. So we know the forest, they don't like fires, right? It burns everything down and turns everything to ashes. But weed is a different thing, but weed is a flower, you know. This is a different type of herb. And
This
mushrooms
a
also
fungi.
an adaptogen, you know.
This a fungi. This a enthogen. This
Mm,
is sacred medicine. You don't need to burn it.
yeah, yeah. I've never tried it though. Phil said he mixed it with the loud. It might do something. I've never tried it. So I can't even say, to be honest. I'm just looking at it from the form and function, but I've never tried to smoke it. I've never tried to smoke it.
That's interesting.
I might try it though. I haven't smoked and I'm off my smoking ban. Firstborn art I've been on since 12/21. I haven't smoked a weed yet. I break fast on the 21st. No
Yeah, bro.
weed, semen
Yeah,
retention till the 20 till next week since December 21st.
yeah,
So
bro.
like my head's
I don't
been in
smoke weed either.
a lot of clarity. Go ahead.
I don't smoke weed either, bro. So
No, for real.
nah, the you actually got something to do with one time I stopped smoking weed. Your post, but all right, I stopped smoking weed in March of 2019. I started back in August of 22.
Mm,
Then I stopped in, let's just say December of 22. I just woke up and just kind of like ain't really had an urge. Then you made a post. I don't know if you remember this, but you made a post saying like if spirit is telling you to not smoke weed, keep going with that feeling. Spirit wants you to hear something or some shit. And that
yeah,
right there is confirmation.
were.
So I just kept going with that, and I ain't smoked. I started back again in 23, like November for a few weeks, but then like I prayed and like I ain't want to do that shit no more. Real shit.
Yeah, yeah. So, so
For
who do
lack
you
of
pray? Who do you pray to? Because
yeah, for lack
I want to hear your perspective from a young guy, like, because you know a lot of older dudes we talk about this stuff, but your perspective is interesting. Just hearing you talk about magic and mysticism, like I'm enjoying the conversation because the way you look at things is totally different, but there's a level of of high intellect in it as well that
yeah.
seeps through. So yeah,
Yeah, like I said, for lack of better words, pray. I don't. I guess that's just that religious trauma in me. That's like saying like I
no,
don't
there's
like.
nothing wrong with that. I pray too. Pray comes from prana, breath,
Yeah, but basically,
prana,
bro,
yeah.
I was just, bro, I slept with my dad altar for like 5 months on it. So we was like this. So I just was talking to him, and I think I said some other ancestors too, but really, my dad, the only ancestor I really like commune with and like
Hmm.
speak out to. But
Right.
yeah, I just was like at my dad altar and just asked to take this fucking habit away because I was, smoking weed and you don't even really want the weed, you want the fucking tobacco. And I'm like, how am I this, but I'm fucking addicted to this tobacco?
That's how they get you. Yeah.
Yeah. And that shit breaking out. That shit breaking out my face and I don't got time
Yeah.
for that. But
Yeah.
yeah, bro. I just prayed to my dad basically, bro.
That's what's up. Yeah. I always say the first, when people ask me, what should I start with on this path of I kind of classify esoteric spirituality,
Yeah,
or
see.
hidden spirituality, because some people are scared of occultism. Just the term is scares them, even though occult just means hidden. But I always say start with your ancestors. You had a grandma, great great grandma, great great grandfather. Start there. Start communication with that. Set up an altar to that to somebody. Oh, I don't have them. Well, you got a dead homie. We come from the hood. You got a dead homie, a cousin, an aunt, a sister, somebody that you love that was a friend that passed or got shot or whatever. Like start there and start with that communication. Because I think a lot of times we have people in our direct circumference, right? And a lot of times people teach us when we start this path to, and nothing wrong with it, to deal with, this Egyptian deity or deal with an Orisha,
It's
or
very
deal with the
external.
Goetia, or, go into this super high advanced, high level communication with deities. And then you can kind of get fucked up because you might be opening doors to things that you're not ready for or you're not
Mm-hmm.
able to handle, right? And you're not mentally able to handle, but you're not physically or spiritually, like your spirit, your energy level is not high enough to handle this type of power, right? So you end up fucking your life up even worse. Then you start saying, "Oh, I saw a like you'll see these things where people go from working with their Orishas to going back to Christianity, and the first thing they say is they saw a demon,
Mm-hmm.
or they saw some spirits in their house. Like these are the things you're really supposed to embrace on this path. That means you got to help her. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? That means you have literally an egregor that works for you. You have an ancestor or a spiritual being that wants to help you, but you have to know how to communicate and you have to know how to tap in. And a lot of
Yeah.
people won't understand that. Like it's like having a ghost, that's your friend. Like that's one of the most powerful things you could have. But if you're scared of the ghost all the time and you don't know how to communicate with the ghost, you don't know how to give offering to the ghost, you don't know how to appease the quote unquote ghost, then yeah, the ghost is going to wreak havoc because the ghost wants to bond. The ghost wants
Mm-hmm.
to be friends. It's like a kid, you know. They want to see what's up with you. Like they want to hang out. So you got to understand how to deal with that energy and how to, you know, control it and things like that. So I think a lot of times the best thing to do is just start with your ancestors first and foremost. Like work with
Yeah.
them and they'll
To that
guide
point,
you. They'll give you information. They'll show you what you need to do. They'll tell you what steps you need and where you need to go as far as now stepping into the Egyptian or Orishas and so forth and so on.
yeah, bro. To that point, spirituality is not a justified it's not a justified excuse to be external. I mentioned this in another video on my channel. Basically, like when people think of spirituality, they think of I'm about to work with this spirit, I'm about to work with this spirit over here from this pantheon, and even ancestor work can be a little bit too external. You really want to start out with working with your higher self. You really want to hone in on that intuition so you can stay in your upward trajectory. You really want to work with your Ori. I'm heavy on that. I'm heavy on Ori work. You know, you can start there, then work your way to the other stuff. Just because it's spiritual, that don't mean you can just keep being external and not focus on your own self.
Yeah, yeah. I'm really big on like meditation. Like I always talk about that. People that have been on the channel for a while, they know I talk about it ad nauseum because really that's the first big step to open me from going from a 5% to open me up even to like metaphysics. Like the first thing I started doing in metaphysics was meditation. And
Mm-hmm.
it took me down. So I did it like reverse. Like people come into this and they start with the Orishas and all that. I did it from ground up, from
Yeah,
Black Power to to metaphysics to meditation. Then meditation led me into all these other doors and
because that's
opened it.
what's gonna allow you to have that stillness. I got a thing called habits of stillness, and this ties into like Virgo North nodes and shit like that. But we got to be able to be still. Everything we looking for is in that stillness that a lot of us can't do. But we got to be still. We gotta
That's the black
think.
flame he was talking about.
Yeah, but also think too that fire spreads too. Fire spreads too. But we got to be still. We got to be able to meditate. We got to be able to edit a video for 30 minutes, speaking earthly. We got to be able to work on a song for 30 minutes. We got to be able to meditate for 15 minutes. We got to be able to mix these herbs together and wash our floor with them, whatever. We got to be able to be still. And that meditation is going to help build that spiritual muscle so you can actually hone in on the voices and hone in on what your intuition telling you that's gonna keep you on your upward trajectory. So you're not just in limbo. You're not just in autopilot, just going day by day like a fucking robot.
Yeah, yeah.
You gotta be casually vigorous. Casually vigorous, man.
Explain that. What does that mean? Casually vigorous. It's kind of
Casually
vague,
vigorous.
but it's definitely double sided.
Yeah,
Because I like
casually.
sometimes I'll tell people, take your time, but hurry up. That's what that sounds like.
Yeah, that casually vigorous.
Hmm.
These hillbilly pumpkins gonna make you casually vigorous, but it's really just you not anxious when it comes to getting stuff done, but you're on it. You're in the moment, you're present, you're calm, you're still, and you going after your upward trajectory. That's the best way I can explain it. You when people rambling to you about some mundane shit, you like, all right, bro, what the fuck you talking about? You talking in circles. You know what I'm saying? Is you done or you done? Like that's a casually vigorous statement. You
What
may
would you
be an
say?
asshole, but
What would you say is the upward trajectory, the main goal of it all? Well, what
yeah,
is that? What is the upward trajectory in your words,
yeah, upward trajectory is
or your higher self? What would that be? Because that things people say that like all the time. But what would
hell
that
yeah.
be like in your words?
Yeah. All right. So upward trajectory. That's scalable results. Consistent scalable results. Every 3 months, every 6 months, every 9 months, every year. What things have happened that are on your upward trajectory? Have you moved? Have you got a better job? Have this happen in your career? Have this person got out of your life? These are things for your upward trajectory. I'll put it like that. Now,
So
higher
like,
self.
go ahead.
You said what? You said what?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, like, all right. So higher self, it's a concept that's in different cultures. They call it different stuff. So higher self, ori, your ori, as they call it in Ifa. That's what I personally use. Ori, I use that term. In ceremonial magic, they say holy guardian angel. With the spiritual new age spirituality, it's just higher self. But we all got a spirit that's assigned to us. So it's that spirit that's assigned to you. That's you without all the earthly conditioning, all the trauma, all the shit your mama said to you in the back of your head. And it's right here. Your higher self and your upper trajectory is right here. They like this. You know, your higher self, your Ori, is telling you what to do to stay on that upward trajectory. That's how I put it.
I like that. I like that. Yeah. Yeah, yo Ori, the basically Ori, and even though I'm not a EFI practitioner, from what I understand, like it's basically you selecting your head or selecting the way you would act, because you're not really this, you're the observer, right? So people will say like I'm not Rob Blackstorm, I am that I am, you are that you are.
Right.
And the I am that I am, or the are that you are, is infinite. So
Yeah.
every personality is yours. Every aspect of the natal chart is yours. Now
Right.
that's a higher self perspective, but this is true. But you first master your natal self, right? So I'm a Scorpio. What does that mean? I'm a water element. What does that mean? Ruled by Mars. What does that mean? Ruled by Pluto. What does that mean? Right? What angel governs that? What demon or demon or daemon just means genius, right? Genius level. Because a dog is a genius of being a dog, not a cat. Cat is a genius of being a cat, right? They can't a cat can't act like a giraffe, right? A dog can't act like a fish, right? Just like you're a genius at what you're here to be, right? Which would be your purpose, right? Which is that spirit that you come here with. So understanding all of those things now allow you to tap into the higher level, the divinity level, because there's three stages really to this growth.
Hmm.
There's the ground floor, right, where you need money, right? You need resources, right? We all need money. We all need resources. A lot of people come into this as a way of getting money or love, right? That's like ground level, base level, which is not really the sole purpose of this, right? It's not really to get money and love, but a lot of people come in for that, right? And it's understandable because you're supposed to be blessed. You're supposed to be abundant. You're supposed to have love and partnership and people that love you and care for you, right? And you're supposed to love yourself first and foremost. But you need resources. You got to deal with Malkuth first. Then you go up to the stage to where now it's the will that has to be activated. So you have to see, okay, what's more important in the situation? Me getting these resources to blow a bunch of trees, to get drunk, to bag a lot of bitches, right? Or is it going to be now I'm going to put these towards getting crystals? I'm going to put these towards investing in spiritual baths. All right. I'm going to get some good headphones so I can put on some meditation music and listen to some firstborn art instead of listening to Chief Keef, right? First thing in the morning, right? So now it's a will. So you got to select, you got to make these choices and you're fighting your body because your body's in the comfort zone, right? This is the
The
physical part
ego.
of you, you know. So the physical aspect is always trying to keep you comfortable. It's always trying to keep you here on Earth. It's always trying to keep you terrestrial because this body comes from Earth. It's an earthly avatar. So you're constantly trying to ascend or reach that higher self by transcending this earthly avatar to get back to what you were saying, that black flame, that inner fire, that black body radiation, that primordial darkness. You're always trying to get back to source. And source is nothing and everything at the same time. It's nothing because it's invisible. It needs nothing and everything is in it, but it's everything because everything is part of it. So that's why we are God and God is us. So the will has to be engaged. Once the will is engaged, now you could diverge into saying, okay, but you'll automatically get downloads to say, okay, your baseline is peace, but I could turn up at the
Mhm.
barbecue, right? And still be a god and still not act like a savage. I
Yeah,
could be at
your
peace
dynamic.
and still beat somebody's ass if I need to and be violent, right? I could be at peace and still load up a pistol, right? And train at the range. I could be at peace and still rack up 350 plates or 400 plates and do, bench press or whatever you need to do. So it comes down to really, and that's really when you're in that state of universality to where you understand everything, but it's a process. Because if you don't got money, no money, you can't do anything like that. You can't do
Mhm.
anything like that. So it made me understand like the tree of life even better when I understood really what Malkut on a comedic tree of life is get, but understanding that, without money and resources, you can't do anything like that. And that really should be one of the focuses. If that's what you need, ask for it and it'll come. But you have to also have the mindset to know why you're doing it and not just to impress niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Not just to stun on somebody, but use these things to make you a more powerful you.
Yeah, keep you on that upward trajectory.
There you go. Yeah.
We all got a dichotomy. That's what I think about when you say peace, but I can turn up at the barbecue. That's dichotomy
Right.
or contrasting sides.
Yeah.
But we gotta be consistently in the present moment so we can be in our progressive dichotomy. So we can make progressive choices. So we can be on our upward trajectory, do the things and go through the motions that are going to allow our progressive chart to keep changing. So yeah.
Yeah. Ultimately, everything should be a course of to your higher self, even your hardships, even your struggles, even your challenges, because it's the hero's journey at the end of the day.
I was just
All
gonna
these
say that.
things that are put in front of us. Like I remember, when I used to have money issues, like that's not even a thing anymore, but I remember when that was just a thing, like need money, I need more money, I need to get this, I need to get that. And it was all consuming, but it wasn't really a money issue. What I realized, it was a perception issue of what money is, right? Money is ultimately currency, it's energy, right?
Mhm.
And in order to get energy, you have to give energy because money is an exchange, right? The stock market is an exchange. It's an exchange of energy.
Energy
So it's like,
exchange.
okay, how can I serve? Right? What can I do to be of service? Even if you're at your job, right? People hate jobs or whatever, but if you are at a job, what can you do? If you're doing DoorDash, can you do more DoorDashes, right? If you're doing Uber, can you stay out an extra 2 hours or wake up another 2 hours earlier, right? You got to put energy in to get more energy back.
Mhm.
That's what any successful business person does. So money is currency, money is energy. And once I realized that, I started turning up more at work, right? I started putting more energy in at work. I started doubling back. I remember, I do sales and I was like, when we'd have the meeting, like I have the meeting on Zoom, and I'd be
Mhm.
still be taking calls. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? In the
Yeah.
background, I work in the motherfuckers, right? This is like the Kobe Bryant energy. But all that to say, like the magic comes through that, right? And once the universe sees that this is the type of energy that you're putting out, the universe is going to start to show that energy in every place. Like I went to Best Buy. Went to Best Buy Saturday, and some just told me going Best Buy, right? I had already ordered it. Matter of fact, where's that shit? Anyway, I had already ordered a case from Amazon, right? And I walked in, and I'm walking by Best Buy. Someone told me go in Best Buy. I walk in Best Buy, just look at it and said, just look at the cases, just look at them. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you first, born on this strange story. So I looked
Mhm.
at, not strange but true. I'm in Best Buy. I'm looking at the cases for the phone. I just bought a new phone or whatever, and I'm looking at the cases. And do you know there's like a case? It looked like somebody was trying to steal the case.
Uh-huh.
But the case was hanging out, like it was halfway out the bottom already.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at it. I snapped the motherfucker on the. This is the case right here. I snapped the motherfucker on the back of my phone.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, this shit fits. And
Yeah.
I walked the fuck out of Best Buy. You know what I'm saying? $20 case, zero, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, shit like this, like, it happens when you are. So, I'm talking to this because right now I know a lot of people got money issues. They're going through struggles like that. If that's your main issue, like, realize that it takes energy to get energy. And that's what magic is about. And that's what this black flame energy is about. And once you nurture that energy, because Leviathan and all that, they're just symbols for energetic signature or archetype. And once you tap into these things, now you have to behave like that. You have to bring that energy forth. So Leviathan is constantly flowing. You know, it's a snake, it's constantly moving. So you got to be constantly moving as well. It's not just about the herbs. All those things are ways to add more coal to the fire, so to speak.
Yeah.
Ways to show the universe, oh, this nigga's really serious. Okay, this is he's adding more flames to the fire. It's like wearing a matching Gucci suit, you know, with the shoes.
Yeah.
You
More
know?
correspondences.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. Great word.
And
Correspondence.
to go to that story you just mentioned, shit like that will manifest like if you do money working. You know, if you do some money working, it ain't always like you about to get an increase of sales or
At all.
whatever. It might be some shit like that, like what
Right.
Rob just said, where you go into the store, you looking for something, you ready to spend your money, but you can just get that shit for free and you just walk out unnoticed. You might get some free shit. You might get a bump in your credit score. You
You
might
might
hear
win a
back.
car.
Yeah, you might hear back from a grant that you applied for earlier than expected. It's
Mhm.
certain stuff like that.
There's a job you applied for 2 years ago, and you're
Yeah,
looking for work, and all of a sudden they call you.
yeah, for real. It's stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not always money. All right. Well, we've been on for an hour. I don't want to take too much of your time on a Saturday night. I know you're probably ready to turn up or turn in, either or.
Nah, bro, I can do this for hours, bro.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Anything you want to tell the people before we go, as far as services, any content, anything you want to offer, projects, etc., etc.
Yes, you can check out my website, firstbornart.com. You can buy artwork from me on there as far as upcoming things. Of course, more content for the website, more tabs for the website, NFTs. I started making ghetto tech music. So, as far as the music, of course, I'll have more rap stuff, but I will be continuing release that, and I'll have some ghetto tech music released in the upcoming months. I got a services tab on my website. I got a tab. Well, I got a service that says ancestral instrumentals, where I can make an instrumental you can play at your ancestor altar. You just give me the details on what kind of music they liked, and I would just intuitively pick one, sample it into the instrumental. Music is a conduit for spirit, so something creative will be a way for y'all to bond. Also got another service where I can take your long form videos like this and I can make 4 reels from it. And I can take out the dead space in your long form content like this. That's all on my website, firstbornart.com. Check out my YouTube channel, Firstborn Art. I talk about being a creative entrepreneur along with being a spiritualist and tying it all together. in the playlist, no, in the podcast tab, it says artists in the depth. So all the videos that I just mentioned that are in that category are in that podcast playlist tab. Other than that, on my channel, it's my music videos, time lapses, my short form videos, beat making videos, just all around me. I am a personal brand. Shout out to all the personal brands. And yeah, firstborn art on all streaming platforms. Just I'm everywhere. Remember that name. Remember this red dot symbol. Remember that pyramid. All of that.
What's the symbolism behind the red dot and the pyramid? If you choose to share.
No. This was supposed to be one of the things I'm supposed to send you too. But yeah, so everybody who keep asking me about what the red dot mean.
I mean, you know, in the hood, the red dot, you know, could mean a lot of things, man. Could be run.
No. But so I'm a fine artist first. I'm a fine artist. So when you sell a painting in the art gallery, they put a red sticker next to it.
That's a fact.
So
Yeah.
it just means showcasing and selling your artwork. The
Gotcha.
the journey of showcasing and selling your artwork. It's also meaning laser being focused, so being real focused. And cats chase red lasers.
Infrared. Yeah. Infrared colors. Makes sense. Yeah. Target too, right? And marketing too. Red is a lot of is if you look at websites for like big companies that you order from, a lot of times the button for sales or the button to push to take action is red.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a big color for in sales and marketing. Definitely. Oh, as well as the root chakra, right? So that
Facts.
you could be rooted into what you're purchasing or rooted into what you're getting into, rooting into what you're buying, right? So yeah,
Deeply rooted. Shout out
deeply
to
rooted.
Scarface.
From style out to Scarface, classic album.
Yeah, that's my dad's favorite album, bro.
Yeah, that's a classic album, man. Classic album. That and The Fix, probably my two of my favorite Scarface albums.
Mm-hmm.
That's when he was in his bag. But yeah. All right, family. We're gonna get out of here. I'll see y'all tomorrow, probably early, because I gotta hang with my daughters in the afternoon. But I'll see y'all tomorrow early. If not, I'll see y'all tomorrow late. But y'all definitely will tap in tomorrow and talk about the Holy Spirit. Peace, power, and prosperity. Rob Blackstorm. I am here with.
Firstborn art. Firstborn underscore art on Instagram. I appreciate you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Peace, power, and prosperity to all y'all. One love.